This is the Fantasy Roadshow.
What's going on, roadies? Welcome into another episode of the Fantasy Roadshow, brought to you by Sports Ethos. We are your hosts. My name is Truck. This is Kulz. And here on the bottom, we have Jamie, first-time guest, contributor for Sports Ethos. Jamie, I'm not going to try to pronounce your last name because I feel like I'm going to just flub it up. But if you could let me know how that pronounced, so I have it stored in the tank. But how you doing, Jamie?
I'm really happy to be here. Thank you for the introduction. It's funny because when I tell you my last name spelling, I'll be revealing that Keith's been saying it wrong, but it's such a nice pronunciation, I haven't wanted to mess with it. It's Macquarie, like an aquarium. Macquarie. He says Macquarie, which is fine as well.
Macquarie. So Jamie, I'd like to introduce Jamie. He is my Underdog best ball man crush. So we're very excited to have him on. He is one of the big brain guys over at Sports Ethos that has a lot of experience in Underdog best ball. So we've been trying to time up, time to have him on Best Ball Fridays, and here we are. So it's going to be a pretty awesome episode. Subscribe on YouTube, sportsethos.com. YouTube.com. I always fuck that up. YouTube.com/sportsethos. Just released a Substack, thefantasyroadshow.substack.com, and of course on Twitter at Fantasy Roadshow. But yeah, Jamie, thanks so much for joining us. We're gonna just do a little intro here, and we'll hop right into Best Ball Friday, baby. Buckle up. All right, so where are you from, and what is your favorite team? We might need help with that part.
Yeah, I'm going to take a wild guess and say it's the Seahawks.
I'm from the city. I'm a fan of the team. Yeah, my family's from, to be exact, Ballard, which is the old Swedish neighborhood in Seattle. The Ballard homies are listening. But yeah, so from Seattle, big Seahawks fan. The Sonics were my first love. That's my heart is still green, but yeah, Seahawks. That's what I'm rolling with.
I love that. I have a Durant Sonics jersey. I'm a Durant lifer, and got 1 year of being a Sonics fan under my belt, and then
I watched every game of that season.
But supposedly the NBA is looking to move to 32, and Vegas and Seattle are like front runners. So fingers crossed there.
That's the word on the street, huh?
It's gonna happen.
Fingers crossed there. So give us the rundown. Let's talk Seahawks. Give us the fantasy landscape, quick hitting fantasy landscape there.
Well, I think you have to start with the JSN news. And if you're drafting today, just I think kind of know where your line is, where your price is. Me and some of the boys were grinding some eliminators last night, this new style tournament, Underdog release, and he went at 102. And I was just like, so if you can buy the tip on him, I would do that. I definitely think it gives, obviously, Lockett and Metcalf a little bit of a boost, just naturally.
What's the local radio on that JSN wrist?
Honestly, I think that there's just a wide range of when it could be. I mean, he could be back week 1. It could be after week 4. So just speculation.
Relatively optimistic, though.
Yeah, I think so. I've been grinding Seattle sports radio in a while. When I was a kid, I used to call him a lot. So that's where I fell in love with doing this stuff, is calling AM radio stations when I was 12 and for posting trades.
Yeah. Well, we're gonna hopefully be able to have like some sort of a call-in situation here on the Fantasy Roadshow. So we're gonna want you to set up an alias and be the Seahawks fan that calls in and just wrecks havoc. So give us the breakdown on the running back room, because Truck and I, we're doing a draft right now. It's on Saturday. We have Ken Walker as a 9th round keeper, and we want some confidence that him as our RB2 is going to do us well.
I think the kind of rundown there is Ken Walker's a home run hitter. He's a big play hitter. He can take one to the house at any time. But the criticism on him, as far as from the Seahawks perspective, was he's not really the between the tackles grinder you want him to be. So that real life effect on fantasy is that Charbonnet is a little more of a well-rounded player. He's a little better in the pass game. I don't think he has quite as much dog in him. But I think it's going to be one of those like new style backfields where both dudes compete. And if one dude's out, the other guy's gonna hit hard. So I wouldn't worry too much about Ken Walker in Dynasty. I think that sounds like fine compensation to keep him. But I've been a Charbonnet guy since the jump, so I just love the value on him where he's going.
Yeah, speaking of man crushes, Truck's got one on Charbonnet. He put him on like an image. He didn't know what he looked like at first, and he goes, "Who is this? Who is this stud of a human
I'm telling
being?"
you, no, I'm telling you what. I was going through. I'm building graphics for the show, so I'm like getting all these guys' pictures, and I came across one of them, and I was like, that's Charbonnet?"
He's very exotic looking, right?
Yeah, he looked. Yeah, it's very. Yeah, very interesting.
He looks like he could be related to the protagonist in Wayne's World, Cassandra.
Yeah, absolutely. So, what is the? Give us your like Seahawks prediction. Are we a playoff team this year? I'm sure.
Yeah, I think 12 wins is the ceiling. I'm hoping 10 wins is the floor. We always play the 49ers tough, at least in the first half of games. Looked real good in that wild card game last year, but fell apart in the second half. So, we're a little ahead of schedule. I mean, no one expected Geno Smith to, I'll be honest, like, I wanted to see Drew Lock get a chance this time last year because he has a rocket arm.
Oh, yeah.
Thought, can we get this guy to function? Because if so, he has the arm. So I think we're still a little bit in shock that we're at this place without having to like mortgage our future. So we still have most of our draft capital. So.
Yeah, I think they're going to be one of those teams that are just super exciting to watch week in, week out. I am interested to see how Geno Smith handles year 2 with a little bit of film on him. Hopefully he can take that next step. And if he does, Seahawks are going to be sitting pretty. He obviously has all the tools around him. So, it's one of those things with high ceiling and not low floor, but, maybe low-ish kind of floor. So super exciting. I know we're all anxious to get into this best ball. So give us a quick rundown of what you're doing at Ethos and, where people can find you.
For sure. So, I start with Ethos. There's actually DFS today, grinding NBA DFS. So done quite a few shows with Keith and the boys, which is a lot of fun. And then with this Ethos fantasy football thing coming together, just all these hungry, knowledgeable people,
It's
we've
exciting.
been grinding in different ways all summer, collaborating. It's been amazing. So we just released a piece that's on the site. We got a little teaser. Definitely get that fantasy fast. But everybody just kind of went through and was like, okay, who's your ideal player in this range and why? Like, kind of give someone a breakdown. And it kind of equated that to those old fantasy magazines. You used to like keep on the toilet, you pull them up and you'd be like, okay, like here's this expert and this is the way they drafted and why. So we did a write-up like that. It's on the site right now.
Awesome. Just to piggyback on your whole statement about Ethos and building out the fantasy football division, like the fantasy pass is what, $4, and honestly, like the brains that are going into that is it's an elite level. So it's definitely a steal, and anyone that goes out there and buys it, you're going to be wildly impressed. So. But without further ado, let's get this thing going. We've been anticipating this about as long as the NFL offseason. No, I'm kidding. But let's. All right. So what you want to do? A 1, 2, 3, and get your boys. And let's see what Keith is saying. I'm just gonna get it up for now, and then
He said he has to pee, so the listeners need to.
Mike, is Dan joining as well? Dan and Keith?
No, just Keith, and then Jamie's got some boys, his best ball boys.
Okay.
Best Ball Collective, BBC. I'm actually going to go turn off the air conditioners for the background noise. I'll be right back.
Okay.
Got it. So, Ryan, here's a little bit of exciting podcast. Well, not podcast, but some exciting news. I'll be leaving officially on Sunday, which is 2 days from now. We're recording on a Friday for Mexico City.
Really?
For the game show. So,
wow.
this is happening. It's real. The flights are booked. The rooms are purchased. All right, Jamie, are we ready?
I just gave the 30-second drop to the boys about 15 seconds ago, so let's go ahead
Okay.
and check that out.
All right. 3, 2, 1, pop.
Two more to start. What'd you guys get?
2 more. 1 more. So we may be in, but they're probably out.
We'll see. They've been chomping, so we'll see who made it in. I know their screen names. Did Keith make it in is the question. The great Keith Fork. No. Okay, let's see what we got. Oh,
What do we got?
We are at, oh God, we're at the 3-4. So for podcast's sake here, we are going to be talking about our picks. So I think we, I think we still have to make that work. So you'll be hearing us, I guess, talk on the turn. I don't know. We'll see what happens.
We'll make it work for sure.
We'll make it work.
That we're back to back.
Jamie, basically just don't be stealing our picks, okay? That's what it comes down to, all right?
I don't think I want to. We're going to learn a lot about each other's styles. Yeah, we'll ebb and flow around the next consideration.
Yeah, I think we have different styles, but also whatever. We'll make it good radio, and here we go. We're off. Did any of your boys make it in, by the way?
No, it doesn't look that way.
Damn.
It's all good. Leave it down.
All right.
For sure.
Keith's freaking out.
Is
Watching
I
the
gotta
game.
mute the Slack here, man.
All right, so who's your 103? Who are you looking at here? Obviously, if Chase and Jefferson fall, right? There goes Chase.
So I've been drafting Tyreek Hill all season at the 103, and I've really been loving that. And maybe it's the Eliminator build, this like elimination style tournament that has me a little more on CMC right now. But I'm going to go ahead and give myself a CMC share. That's a little like if I was writing a manifesto about the best pick at the 103, I love building out those Miami and Baltimore stacks, but I'm going to take CMC for that point.
Yeah. Ryan, Diggs.
Yeah, I like Diggs here.
So we've been going Diggs early, and full transparency. We like to try to get the Allen and Diggs stack right now.
I hear any boys on that, yeah, for sure.
Yeah, so like our thought process here is, we're both very high on the Bills, kind of what we all thought they were going to be last year. A little bit, hopefully Josh Allen's health stays intact. That elbow issue is definitely an issue there for especially the Diggs, like getting Diggs involved with that long ball. You saw that kind of be an issue. So, healthy team, that Diggs Allen connection still strong. And I think, Ryan, Truck and I both feel that the Bills are going to have a big year and that high powered offense will be back. So, trying to target that Allen Diggs has been, you can't go wrong there with Hill and Cup, right?
For me, I've always had Hill higher, but with Diggs, it's like, all they did was add Kincaid in the passing game. It's like, if they would have made their wide receiver room a little bit better, I would be more so understanding. But Diggs is like the one and only. He's should lead the league in targets almost, or be in conversation to do that. So that's why I like going Diggs at 4.
Yeah.
I want to go back to something, Mike, you said, Kulz, about the elbow. I think you got to bake that into kind of how the season played out last year for the Bills passing game. And I don't know if that's been baked into these prices. Like I've been getting Gabe Davis in the 60s and 70s and loving that last year. In redraft, he was a fourth round pick at best. Now you're getting him at half that. So he's been one of my favorite values all year.
Yeah.
And then your boy Kincaid, Mike, I'll let you speak on him, but I think we'll be surprised that if Josh is 100%, the passing game levels back up.
Yeah. So like Gabe Davis, he also had that ankle injury. And I think he was pretty close to ADP by the end of the year.
Right, exactly.
And like was just the hype around him was just so strong. So that's definitely baked in his ADP. I'm going to read off the board here. So after Diggs, Tyreek Hill, Cooper Kupp, Eckler, Kelsey, Bijan, Amon-Ra, Chubb, and A.J. Brown to end out the first round. Second round started with Barkley, Adams, CeeDee Lamb falls to 15, Garrett Wilson to 16, and Tony Pollard. We are up in 3 picks. We typically like to go wide receiver here. So if a Waddle, Olave, or Devonta fall to us, we're going to scoop one of them up. And it looks like they just auto-picked Waddle, Olave. So I think, Ryan, are you Devonta here if he falls?
Yeah, I'm Devonta here if he falls. If not, we're going to have a tough conversation on
Well,
who
let's
to
have
take
that
after
tough
that.
conversation now because
It's between Derrick Henry for me.
well, he just went, so Devonta's the pick.
Yep.
All right, so Diggs, Devonta is our start. Sorry, good process, Jamie, if you were hoping one of them fell.
Interesting. This is such an interesting spot here. You got all the elite quarterbacks. I don't feel like I've been buying the dip on Jonathan Taylor as much as if this Miami thing does. I mean, it's clear Miami does not like the running back room. I've been drafting a Shane all offseason, all draft season. But my instinct here is just to go ahead and go Taylor. I'm just going to grind it with the elite RB start.
Man, if he's in Miami, which I've heard reports that they have agreed to the trade and now they're working out the amount of guaranteed money on the contract. So if that's true and that works out, I mean, that's going to be a very potent offense.
Yeah.
To say the least. Yes, exactly. So somebody's shares are getting ruined if he goes anywhere.
Yep.
But, my dynasty share would not be upset.
Yeah. So there goes Mahomes. Let's see what Dingus does here.
I'm taking Josh Allen if he's still there, boys. I hate to tell you.
Fuck.
So that's a danger of not taking him in, the 22 you have.
I'm okay with that.
I'd rather have Hurts in this build. But at this point, I'm going to go ahead and build receiver in the mid rounds.
There goes Hurts. So yeah, you're Allen's your best bet there. Truck, what do you want to do here?
Obviously, Mark Andrews is in consideration. I like Jahmyr Gibbs, Amari Cooper.
Okay, well, I vote Andrews out of those 3.
Okay.
There it is. I got enough Higgins. Yeah, let's go, Joshy.
So you want to go? We're going Andrews over Higgins, yeah?
Yes, I'm taking Andrews over Higgins.
Love that. All right. So we got a little bit of. So we each went quarterback, tight end, draft capital early, just based on what fell to us there. Jamie's got running back. We have wide receiver. This may work. Yeah, this may work out to where we're not sniping a lot of players. I mean, we'll see what happens. Obviously, the players we like, we're going to get, but we have very different builds, so that could end up complementing one another. Gosh, Ryan, Truck and I were joking this entire time, like, watch us just end up right next to each other.
So yes, funny. We were joking about that, and of course, that happens, But this is interesting, man. I can't wait to see how each build shakes out, taking 2 separate approaches.
What typically, I like about this so far is, sorry, go ahead, Chuck.
No, I was just going to say, typically, whenever Mike and I do running back, I just, for some reason, I'm not happy with the end product as much as I am going wide receiver. So I'm really curious to see how your build plays out, to see if maybe I just don't like the way that we built it, and maybe I like yours.
Well, you just have to get the right wide receivers, right? Like if you don't, if you miss out on a couple of wide receivers, then it starts to get pretty scary.
What's funny is I 100% agree with you. Like this build is already going to be out of my comfort zone, so and that's fun for me to try to challenge myself in that way. It's late in the draft process, and because I'm building this way, I'm going to kind of I'm a big correlation guy. I really like to have. Like on my Judy teams, I liked when I had Mims and Cortland Sutton, I was going through my portfolio and looking and seeing, like, okay, what teams are going to survive the first few weeks? But in a build like this, I'm kind of going to be playing for the regular season prize here. I'm going to just kind of throw, correlation out the window and just build the best team I can, ADP wise, which is like weekly upside matched with.
Yeah. Let me read off the board. So after Andrews, Jake, Higgins, Metcalf, Lamar, Cooper, ETN, Keenan, and then we've been seeing this DJ Moore and Field stack at the end of this 3-4 round quite a bit now, which is just wild. But DJ Moore, Fields, Mixon, Stevenson, Debo, Christian Watson. There goes Najee. I think, Truck, we like Hall and Jones, so they're both here.
Absolutely. Yeah, I vote Hall or Jones, and I think we lean Hall. But I'm
Yeah, I'm cool with that. I mean, we're playing best ball here, and I think Brees eventually runs away with that. I mean, you're not going to be able to keep him off the field if we saw what we saw last year out of him. So I'm comfortable taking him at the end of the 4th round. There goes Aaron Jones. So our decision is easy here.
I love when that happens.
Brees Hall.
Which for me too was. Here we go.
Drake London. Love that. We both have liked him, and we just haven't seemed to get him on as much teams as we would have liked.
Same.
So that Atlanta team is going to be another team that's going to be so fun to watch. I think, that ceiling for Ritter is just a young core. Like, I really hope it works out with Ritter because they can win the division this year if it does. There goes Ayuk.
Yeah. Oh, that would have been nice with my CMC. How far does Judy have to drop for you guys to go ahead and take him if it makes sense for build?
Gosh, I don't know. I really don't. I haven't even been in a position to where it may make sense. He got picked at the 40 spot when we did a draft yesterday, which was just wild. Ryan, after the news. Ryan, that Andrews, if we would have gone Higgins there and Burrow's now fallen kind of, a little bit, that would have been an interesting play, but definitely
have that on the table too. I know if I could go back, I'd probably take Higgins in the spot that I took Joshy and just go ahead and stack Higgins Burrow.
All right.
That's how we learn. Don't have a lot of Hopkins. Not crazy about him. Just kind of the profile. There's a lot of risk baked in. The way I'm building my team, I really give crap taking Ken Walker.
There you go. You got your boy. Truck, what are we thinking here?
I like Herb.
For me, it's Hopkins, Kirk, or I guess Herbert. We got 8 seconds.
Hopkins for me.
All right. Yeah, I don't really love the profile either, Jamie. And quite frankly, this might be our first share of him. But given the Judy, Hopkins, Kirk, Burks is banged up, Phillips is banged up, let's just see if we can get a Hopkins resurgence. And if we do, then we're going to be in a good spot there. Right.
Yeah, to me, he has more upside than any other receiver in this range right here. So, especially with Burks going down, Hopkins is just going to get a ton of targets. So, I'm trying to target him where I can in the 5th.
Just to kind of circle back to this unusual build where I have the 3 elite anchor running backs. I want to see how this plays out because I'm only going to draft 4 running backs in this build, and I'm just going to hammer volume at receiver and tight end. So it'll be interesting to see the final product. And I like to have a few builds like that. Just gives you more flexibility in the later rounds. I won't be reaching for any dust ball running backs, hoping for something that go right, but then to get on the field. So,
how about Dotson, 56?
Wow.
Ooh, he's rising. He is really rising.
Yeah,
that's the highest.
We saw him yesterday go pretty high too. I don't know that it was 56, but
no, it was not. It was not here in the 5th round. So that was.
Yeah, it's wild.
So we like Dobbins. If he somehow falls to us, which is not looking likely at this point, but
no,
stacking him with Andrews, there goes Pickens. That's a guy that we've obviously liked a lot. There goes
There goes
Dobbins.
JK.
So,
But we like a ton of running backs in this range. I mean, with
Yep.
Sanders, Akers, Javonte, James Cook, like there's so many running backs that I think one of them will end up falling to us. So I'm okay with Dobbins being gone.
yeah. Gabe Davis is an interesting pick here with Diggs. I don't know if Jamie wanted to hear us say that name, but that is an interesting pick for us.
He has horrible hands. You're not going to know he has hands of concrete.
Sorry. I think we're Gabe if he falls.
No, I got just to circle back to what you're saying. I got a lot of bills where Dobbins is my first running back, and the team's just fire everywhere else.
Yeah.
14% exposure to Dobbins, so I'm with you guys. I just think in that offense, he has crazy touchdown potential this season, and he could go 15 plus if everything breaks right.
Yeah. Well, there goes Gabe. So neither of us are getting him. Where do you what's your stance on Javonte Williams?
I love Javonte the player. I actually wrote about him in the MyGuys piece as a 7th round target. I mean, I was getting him in the 90s and 100s earlier in this process, so I haven't been taking a whole lot of where's he going now.
Yeah. There goes Judy. There goes Lawrence. Are we Akers here, Rye?
Yeah, I love Akers here. I think I'm Akers. I'm good with Akers over Sanders, Williams, and Cook.
Yep. Cam Akers, hoping that workload is what we think it's going to be. You hear reports of Kyron Williams having a huge camp. We'll see what happens there.
He's just one of those guys that talk.
Yeah, it's just LA likes to talk.
All right, boys, give me your vote here on Kittle versus Evans. I'm probably going to go Kittle here on the clock. Just stack him with CMC, a little more touchdowns.
Yeah, I was going to say the stack.
Yeah, the stack is what definitely would sway me in Kittle, but I mean Evans is interesting, man. The guy's he's just so fucking good.
And really, this is probably your main concern is this makes you quit guy. KG makes you quit is probably your main concern. Yep. Spoke it into existence.
One of my favorite things about doing best balls are reading the names.
Dingus is such a great. Wow,
I've been playing with Dingus for a while. I don't know, bro, but I've been seeing you, Dingus. So check out Dingus, grinding hard.
Yeah, Dingus. All right, Ryan, we got a nice little pocket of running backs here. Sanders, Javonte, Cook. We obviously have that Bills stack. Best available is kind of what we're going to go regardless. There goes Addison.
Oh, good. I wanted to take Flowers over him anyway. So I like both those players, but I just got a little feeling about Say Flowers. He could be the alpha, besides Sanders, obviously, but playing the slot.
Yeah, I was going to mention Flowers as well.
So was I. I didn't want to mention him. I didn't want him to be gone.
Truck, Sanders, Javonte, Cook. What do we got here? What do you like?
I kind of want Cook, man. Let's pair him up with Allen.
Cook over Javonte?
Yeah.
Okay. We don't have Allen, but we have Diggs.
Oh, my bad. We normally do have Allen, so when I see him so close to our team, I'm automatically associating him on our team.
Your boy Sanders was there, and maybe that was the. I don't know. I you know how I feel about Sanders, but
I got Sanders the other day at 80. So he sometimes drops.
I mean, at this point, having Cook with Diggs,
Sanders.
I like our build after. I mean, I think we're sitting in a decent spot. We got Diggs, Devonta, Hopkins, Hall, Akers, Cook. Cook's someone we think is going to step into a role pretty early on. So, if Hall's eased into the offense, we have our RB2. There goes Sanders. Pittman, Sanders, QJ gone. I'm going to take a look at other teams that I like what they're doing.
Sniff Narf 6 with that Justin Herbert, Eckler, Quentin Johnson.
I like the 12 spot.
Yeah, I saw that. Eckler, Herbert, Johnston. That's dirty. Waddle too. Which spot do you like, Ryan?
The 12 spot.
Well, yeah, Fields and Moore. That just gets you hard immediately.
But I mean, with the Pickens and Dobbins and Saquon, like, it's just a very, very good team.
It's been crazy watching this phenomenon of locking up the DJ Moore Fields stack rounds 3 and 4, which I
dude,
have to hold in a little bit, but you got to do it if you want to get them both. People are doing it.
I know. I just feel like it was 4 and 5 at one point.
It was. You were correct.
Yeah.
There goes Kamara at 83, and to end out the 7th round, Sutton. He's been catching steam.
What was that?
Oh, cat.
Okay.
Yeah, I have a couple cats. This guy's name's Jude. He's one of my buddies. He likes to hang out when I record.
Khalil Herbert catching steam.
So much steam, dude. He just went ahead of Connor. I'm not for, but I take him over Herbert and Swift and Rashad White, who I know you like. And I'm growing on. He's growing on me a little bit.
And this is where the wide receivers thin out, and we both need wide receivers. That will be an interesting development.
Yeah.
Looks like Odell Beckham will be available at your next pick.
Yeah.
There goes Sky.
I think Bateman with our Andrews and Bateman with our Ravens stack is available.
Yeah.
Can I ask you guys kind of a philosophy question on basketball teams? So the subject here is Sky Moore. You just saw where he went. I have a lot of shares of Sky Moore in the 120 to 130 range from earlier. Do you let that affect taking a player because you have such better values in the same tournament like this, or you just kind of roll with the flow? It's all its own draft and approach it that way.
I try to get Mike.
Yeah, let's make our pick and then I'll answer that.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, block that up.
What are we doing here, Rye?
I mean, I think Bateman's the right pick.
Bateman.
As long as he comes back healthy from that Liz Frank.
Is Dalvin Cook the right pick? No, let's go Bateman. Rashad Bateman.
That's tough, boys. That's a tough one. There's just no wide receivers I'm willing to reach on here. I mean,
I feel you on that.
Yeah, I'm not doing it, bro.
This is what happened to us yesterday.
Yeah, I like Pacheco. I'm done at running back now, but I'm taking Pacheco here. Just can't. I will not sleep with myself if I took Burks in his confusing timeline.
Did we snipe you, by the way?
He did snipe me.
Oh, I'm sorry.
One of the Bateman, but I have so much Bateman. I need to chill. I'm at 25%. So you probably helped my portfolio, honestly.
Yeah.
Oh, boy. It's like let me draft again. But yeah, I try to just accept the new price if it's the right price. But a player like Sky Moore is hard to draft in the 80s for me when I have so many shares in those ones.
Yeah.
Okay. We are at pick 99. Have Josh Allen. Taking Watson makes no sense. But again, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to do it. Feeling loose. I'm going to go ahead and double stack. There you go. Now I'm done.
Right. Do we take Watson at the 14 pick drop here? Just from value? I mean, it's either Watson or it's fucking Romeo Dobbs 8 spots before his ADP.
Yeah, let's do it. Let's grab him. There's a good value there.
I think we just kind of have to.
Yeah.
I mean, at that point, it's not like we're pairing any of our wide receivers with a quarterback. So taking value, did it not? Oh, there we go. Why is this not working? There we go. Yeah, so we weren't obviously getting Lamar, Hurts, or Allen at that point. Tannehill's open for way later, but I think we just seeing the value there, 14 pick value of drop. I mean, I think that was the right move.
I agree. Jamie, do you normally draft on your phone or computer?
With Underdog, I draft on my phone. I'm just so used to it.
Yeah.
But for Sleeper, I draft on my computer. I have my rituals depending on the app, and I draft Underdog.
Yeah. Kulz and I were drafting, and I was on my phone drafting, and he's on his laptop or his desktop drafting, and we're talking about what players we want, and I bring up a name. He goes, "No, he's way down there." I'm like, "No, he's right there." The ADPs are different from the cell phone and the desktop.
Mm-hmm.
You knew about this?
Not that particular detail, but it's totally consistent with my fears about using the desktop, which I appreciate validating.
Yeah, it's nuts. And then we were like, so do we try to talk about both while we record? We can't do that, right? So that's been a
good catch, by the way, Chuck. But yeah, a little more safe on the phone. I'm like,
all right. So your question earlier, gosh, that's one of those things where I just try to put it out of my mind. And just really go rankings, right? I stay true to my rankings more than anything. So, someone like Ayuk, for example, he's going in the 4th round, as you saw here. I don't know if we've gotten 6th round Ayuk, but definitely 5th. I mean, I just feel like that's pretty egregious. And I have him as my wide receiver 15 in my rankings. I'm super high on Ayuk. So I'm sure I have better shares of him than, early 5th round. But if he was there, I think we probably were both considering him at the 45 pick. If he was there at 52, we were 100% going to take him. But I just try to put that out of my head. And if my rankings are, say Sky Moore, then we go Sky Moore. We probably would have taken him there if he fell,
That's a good process. Ayuk's a great example, actually. I wasn't getting any shares early in the process. They're just players in that range I like more. I've been taking him in the 47 to 52 range. Just to make sure I have my shares. I just like some of the players a little better in that range. Not necessarily as talent, just their situation.
So Rye, Nico Collins is available here, and we have our boy Hopkins. So the week 17 stack is open there. I don't like Juju Lazard. I don't think you do either. Your best friend Jacoby's there. So Collins.
Yeah, Collins. I'm surprised you didn't want to go.
Don't that.
What was that?
Yeah, not enjoying my running back build as I stare at Juju and Lazard. Really not. Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and get dirty. This is an insane thing to do. I don't always draft this way. I'm taking Marvin Mims, dude. I just love his bro. I just think I'd rather have him than Lazard, rather than Rashee Rice. I have so much Mooney, and I'm just going to go ahead and take him here. It's my wide receiver 3. 22 picks ahead ADP, so feel super good about
Rashad
that.
Penny, Jamal Williams.
This guy goes dingus. What a dingus. Dalvin Cook, Brian Robinson, Rashad Penny, Jamal Williams.
That is a dingus move if I ever saw one. All right. What's the process here? Kincaid? Yeah, that's who I wanted, obviously. All right, what are we doing here, Rye? Be quick.
I mean, I would say Jacoby,
huh?
Or Elijah.
Let's go Eli. We need a running back.
Let's do it.
Got that. Just hardly got that in. Njoku would have completed our would have given us someone to stack with line, but I just like Elijah Mitchell. Would have loved Kincaid there, but we got fucked. Jamie owed us a snipe after taking Bateman and
Mike. I'll be honest with you. When we took Nico, I thought for sure you would want to take Kincaid because there was no way he was going to get back to us.
Yeah, I didn't know. I didn't think there was.
Right.
I didn't think there was definitely no way. But I don't know. We have Andrews.
I think it was the right call just because of the way the wide receivers are just drying up here.
Yeah.
I would have taken Nico over Kincaid in that situation.
Yeah, that's kind of. And I just didn't want to bring him up. You were about to, Ryan. I was like, no, don't say it.
That's the challenge. Is like we want to provide a good product, but you're also drafting a live Basketball Mania 4 team right now against on the podcast, so you got to balance that out.
Yeah, but honestly, I think we've done a great job. I am going to read off the board. So Elijah Mitchell, Ryan's best friend, Jacoby Myers, A-Chain, the A-Train, Juju, Rashi Rice, Rogers, Goff, Lazard, Mooney, Pickett. And here we are in the 12th round. So we were in a spot. We were just in such a bad spot yesterday in our draft. Like, it was the most quicksand we've felt in a draft probably to date. And it's recorded, so that'll be out next week. But we were in a spot where it was like, are we really going to draft Rashi Rice right now? Like, all we could do is go for as high of upside wide receivers as we could. And we took Rice. I don't know that either of us loved doing it, but
we just needed someone with a glimmer of hope. And a Chiefs wide receiver has a glimmer of hope. So
yeah, it was bad, but we did it. I don't know how you feel about Rashi.
Dynasty.
Well, yeah, Dynasty, that's great, but exactly. A rookie wide receiver. Yeah, rookie wide receiver in a Andy Reid offense is tough.
We see how it was year in, year out. Exactly.
Yeah. All right. Well, I think in terms of wide receivers, we have liked Van Jefferson in this pocket, and we do have Mr. Cam Akers. So I think that would make sense for our pick here, Rye.
Yeah, I like that.
Opens up a potential. What'd you say?
I was like, there's no way Vanson lets Van Jefferson slip to you, but he took Russ Wilson. So.
Yeah. Van is not letting Van up. Never mind. Van Jefferson's the pick here, right, Ryan?
Yes. Yeah, it's between Van and KJ for me, but I'm fine going Van.
I think a lot higher ceiling.
I cannot believe how much of this player I have, but he was going so late for so long, and I have a lot of KC stuff. And, as a wide receiver 4, when you just totally nailed it in the receiver, MVS in that offense, so he'll get you up 4 to 5 spike weeks. So I'm fine.
Yeah. If he scores, what do you have, 3 touchdowns last year? If that number goes to 4 or 5, you're gonna like that pick. That's how I've been looking at MVS at least.
No, that's a good way to kind of break it down, simplify it. Exactly, just touch on the positive regression.
What about Mingo? Do you like Marshall's out for a hand? You have a lot of Mingo.
Yeah, he just goes.
Are you going? You're going Mingo over Thielen and Chark every time?
Well, Chark's got that hammy right now, and then Marshall's out, so Mingo's early season looks promising.
He's a big receiver. Bryce Young's going to need a bit. I feel like that connection's there's some rapport there already. He's a big dude. He's got little Mike Crabtree who was built.
This guy.
Look at Dingus. Dingus can't get off the running backs. Just
hammering.
Cook, Robinson, Penny, Jamal, Mostert. He just got horny for some running backs.
Well, we all get horny, don't we? So I just checked. I have 23% Mingo. So despite my little breakdown on him, I'm taking KJ Osborne here. Just in this build, I need that security. Like it.
Yeah, I think Mingo makes sense for us, Rye.
Yeah.
I mean, unless you really want to go Roshan, but I think Mingo's got an earlier path to success for us.
I would agree with you.
And yes, I want to also say that everyone does get horny, and Truck mainly gets horny when he sees Zach Charbonneau's picture for the first time.
Hey, you know what? When you guys see this picture, hold on. I'm going to pull it up for the people, okay? I'm just going to pull it up for the people.
Looking.
You guys need to I don't know if you can see a good picture of this. He's a stud, man. This guy is a stud.
You ever met a really expensive exotic cat?
A really expensive exotic cat?
Yeah, people have these weird show cats. I don't know. He kind of reminds me of like an exotic, like oriental cat.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Like on a rug, you know those like suede like rugs on like he should just be on one of those, like in a cat.
Yeah.
Suit.
We are rocking with a 1 quarterback, 4 running back, 7 wide receiver, 1 tight end build. I love how this is working out right now. I think our wide receiver room is pretty deep. Mark Andrews at tight end. I think this is kind of I'm pretty happy with the way this is working out for us right now. This might be for us a position in the 14th round to take Matthew Stafford.
I like that.
I mean, Chark and Reed are going to be there. At this point, I think I'm staying away from Jeff Wilson with this JT news unless he's included in that trade. That might be problematic for him.
Yeah, I agree with you. I'm kind of holding off on drafting him until we figure out what the hell's going on in Miami.
How about the late steam on Juwan Johnson? Just so much like
It's
Derek Carr.
Isn't it?
Yeah,
Yeah.
so much Derek Carr's favorite target talk, and he's just steamed. Like he was going undrafted for a while.
Yeah.
I mean, Derek Carr's brother recommends him in fantasy, so I think we should all move him up boards. You guys hear that little nugget?
What is it?
I think his name's David Carr, the former #1 pick. Told his brother that get this guy on your fantasy team. So the Carr boys are steaming up Juwan Johnson.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah, I was talking to a buddy of mine. He's doing a home league, and he calls me for advice. And the first question, he's like, "What do you think about Juwan Johnson?" I'm like, "All right, well, here we go." So I guess people are,
There goes Jeff Wilson. Jeff. Yeah, we don't have to think about that. We have a lot of Jeff Wilson.
My name is Jeff. Me too, dude. Yeah. And the 180s was preferable. Especially, why is he doing 158 with the JT rumors? It's kind of a weird day to take him there.
Very weird.
That's not good process.
Well, some people still don't know. Like some people aren't up to date with all the information. Like I was talking, the same buddy of mine that I was talking about, Juwan Johnson, he didn't know that Miami was potentially putting in a trade offer for JT. So I'm like, there's people out there that just aren't fully aware of the current landscape. So,
here's something for you. Here's something for you, Jamie. We saw Musgrave go in the 7th round yesterday.
Excuse me?
Excuse me.
The 7th round.
7th round.
I think he had one good college game, or just like the very beginning. Yeah, what do you have, like 22 receptions, something like that? I know you're the college guy. Kulz, you seem to have a lot of that information in your brain, but yeah, that's insane.
Yeah, the hype is strong.
I took Kraft in a rookie keeper league in the 5th round.
Stafford, I think Stafford makes sense for us here, Rye.
Yeah, I like the Stafford pick here.
This turn, good process, and Dingus only have 1 quarterback. Let's just lock him in. I don't love really anyone else. Chark's interesting, but
yeah.
Matty Stafford, Akers, and Van Jefferson. So Rams, go Rams.
Going to play it safe here. This is a player I think still going underdrafted, and that's Donovan Peoples-Jones. I just think he's a good receiver. He's going to be out there in 3 receiver sets with room for more. If anyone went down, I just got I like his role at this stage as my wide receiver 6.
Yeah, he's definitely like one of those guys that can make big plays. I guess
Right.
we probably
Makes
should
the
have
best
considered
balls.
him with Watson, but
For the Ferg turd, another player getting steamed up, and I mean Dallas is really no one saw Dalton Schultz tight end 3 season in 2020 coming, so can't always equate these things. But I don't mind where Ferguson's going at this point. Where you guys down on?
Ferguson,
Yeah,
I like Ferguson honestly. And Shane, Cowboy guy, like he's
Oh yeah, loves
he's-
Ferguson.
Yeah, he loves Ferguson too. So
No, he made a great point though. The Dallas just they develop tight ends very well. So Ferguson could be a good pick. I just haven't been targeting him lately.
going to reach another one of my guys I'm trying to get shares of. It's Michael Wilson in Arizona. It's the only big receiver they have.
do we go Chark here? Do we go Rashid Shaheed? Do we go Singletary? No. What do you think, Ryan?
Yeah, I would say Chark.
Could go Singletary, honestly, if you like him. Chark? 5 seconds.
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah, let's go Chark.
DJ Chark. Do.
Thanks for that.
DJ Chark.
Mike does it every single time we draft DJ Chark, and it seems to happen all the time now because he's just always someone we target later.
DJ Chark.
I got a lot of Chark too.
Yeah.
So there's a best on him.
LSU Tiger. We currently have 8 wide receivers. So are you what's the most aggressive you've gotten with wide receiver? 9? Jamie?
You guys usually will stop at 7, 8. Was that a mistake question? My bad.
7 or 8 is where you usually stop.
Yeah, I was asking you guys. You guys usually stop right. The pods I've listened to 7 is that your preferred number if you build?
It just depends, man. I mean, like it depends on who we're at with quarterback, right? Like if you get one of these top tier quarterbacks, which we tend to like to get, then we're good going 2 there. And then we've been getting a lot of Andrews lately. So, 2 there. And if that's the case, then steaming 8. I think yesterday we had 9 wide receivers. So I would say like wide receiver, I like to go definitely 7 or 8. 9 is like aggressive, but sometimes when things are just getting wild like they were yesterday, we just had to. What's your standpoint on like quarterback, tight end, and then wide receiver depth?
Uh-oh, we lost him.
Lost him?
Yeah, we lost him.
Oh, no. Henry, White, Samuel, Ty Chandler, 176, Jake Ferguson, Taysom Hill, Howell, Paris Campbell, Slayton, Kyler Murray, Rashid Shaheed, Devontae Parker. You want Ford here, Rye?
I would love Ford here, yes.
So would I. Maybe Knox on the turn, huh? No, bye. Week bye.
Jamie, you there?
I am here. I'm back.
Hey, there we go.
Internet snag.
I know about that all too well, Jamie. My
I fought the
internet
next
usually
move off camera.
Yeah. My internet's terrible no matter where I go.
Irv Smith, we are looking at Mr. Jerome Ford, who's one of our
Yeah,
highest
exactly.
highest owned players.
A little stack with
Got a lot of Ford.
Sean.
There's your boy
Yeah.
Singletary, still a barrel pull. You guys took Ford.
Yeah, I mean, we got to Sean. Ford could have, if he ends up being in that hunt role, he could have a receiving touchdown or, a few of those. So I don't know.
I kind of see Ford and Singletary in the same light. I mean, word on the street originally was that Singletary was going to be utilized a lot more, but as of late, I mean, it's been all Pierce being the workload guy there, or the workhorse.
Right. Look who our lovely guest goes there at the 190.
I love drafting Mecole Hardman.
I love to hear
what
it.
is it?
I love to hear that. Yeah.
Ryan loves getting some Chubb, and he loves getting some Hardman.
This is true.
Yeah, we are back. Gotta get a little hard, man. Got way too much Bryce Young and way too much Desmond Ritter.
Same.
You know what I'm saying? So we're just going to go ahead and hand the receiver, grab John Mechie, and then we're done at receiver because I had to build that room up deep.
What do you want to do here, Rye? Let's be quick.
Hayden Hurst.
Sure, we have Chark. Yeah, I'm cool with that. Let's do it.
Lock it in.
Now we'll take whatever scrub quarterback is left. It's my QB2.
I was thinking maybe Tannehill. I mean, if he falls, great, but obviously totally fine with Watson and Stafford. Chase Claypool. You know how I love Chase Claypool. Yeah, so I think if we get Tannehill, or I don't know if he'll be taken probably, but having him with Mr. Hopkins.
Just a little draft process thought. I almost took Tannehill there, but then I was like, you're not going to like the receiver left at 214 as much as you like John Mechie. So just grab Mechie and take who's left.
Yeah, that was the right pick.
It's a good process.
Appreciate it.
There goes Tannehill. Claypool, Ross, Tannehill, Richie James, Bryce Young gone. Who is going to be the running back for the Indianapolis Colts, and how bad is that offense going to be this year?
Deion Jackson is now in my top 12. Just speculative. I just want to be first in the industry.
Yeah, because he performed so well when he was the RB1 last year in Indy.
Dude, people got all excited about him, though. I mean, people were just running to waiver wires to grab him, blowing their fab, just wads being blown, $100 here, there.
Yeah, why not, right?
Yeah, if they end up trading Taylor away, and they don't end up getting Jeff Wilson or a running back from Miami, they're going to sign Fournette, Kareem Hunt. Someone's going to come into Indy that's a free agent right now, and there's a couple still available.
Probably Hunt. They already brought him in, right?
Well, apparently, I mean, the word on the street was that he was on his way somewhere, and Indy called him and said, "Hey,
Patriots.
don't." Yeah, and then he said Indy's called him and said, "Come on back over here," and then he didn't sign. So I heard from Lombardi that it could have been he didn't pass his physical. Could be a medical thing, because you don't turn a plane around unless you have a done deal somewhere else.
That's interesting. I just saw someone drafted for the first time, Mr. Smythe. I don't know that I've seen him drafted.
I know. Well, when you're trying to do these Baltimore-Miami stacks, you're like, I took Braxton Berrios my last pick once because I'm like, I need a random piece that might go off week 17. So like, I haven't seen Smythe go, but I guess that could be the logic. I'll take a look at his roster. Good catch there, Mike. Yeah, Smythe.
Yeah.
So, Rye, what do we want to do on our pick?
I mean, I'm fine really going anywhere. I'm okay not taking a quarterback and sticking it out with those two. But if you want to go quarterback, I like Desmond Ritter.
What do we want to do here, and why is it Puka Nacua?
Love me some 19 Puka. Love me some 19 Puka. And you got Stafford, right?
Right? We have Stafford, and Jefferson. So, I mean,
Puka it is.
Yeah.
Puka Nacua.
Let's just do it, man. It's just good process.
Great process, Mike.
It also allows my process to get the coveted Drake London, Desmond Ritter stack with my last pick.
Love it. Yeah, I was probably going to lean away from Ritter just because, like, I don't know. I'm comfortable with Watson and Stafford. I mean, maybe I shouldn't. Maybe I shouldn't be because of Stafford's potential health. But I believe him when he says he feels healthy. I really do. And
well, this team, guys, needs Stafford to stay healthy because you got Cam Akers, you got Van, and now you got Puka. So you just made a bet on that working out. So you might as well.
And that's one of those things you just have to do, right? Like, that's what you're doing in best ball. I mean, I want to talk to you a little bit. We're obviously going to review our teams, but I want to talk to you a little bit about your experience here in best ball. Like, you just have to plant your flag on a team and play out basically that narrative, right? We're 2 seasons removed from the Rams being a Super Bowl team and having an awesome offense that carried them there. Like, if Stafford's healthy, if Kupp's healthy, you still have Higbee. There's, the anchor of that offense. So if a Van Jefferson, if a Puka Nacua, if an Akers rise to the occasion and take one of those, big roles, then Rams could be all right. So that's kind of the things you got to do in best ball here, right?
Yeah, exactly. That's why I thought Puka was the right pick, because you just went ahead and solidified the bet you made on the Rams on that. And honestly, like, I have been fading Cooper Kupp at cost for other players just because he makes me a little queasy. And interestingly enough, this Best Ball Mania 14 y'all just drafted really would benefit from Cooper Kupp going down. Not that we root for that, but it'd be interesting because you got all the pieces around it.
Yeah. I'm not the type of person that roots for injury, but when I see a Judy go down and I have a lot of Dulcich,
you have to notice.
Yeah.
It's human instinct.
Give us your team here. Let me pull you up. That's good process. Let's run through your team. I love the 9 receivers. I think we both ended up with 9. But
2, 5, 9, 2.
Give us the breakdown here.
I'd love to. So let's do. We got Joshy at pick 27, Desmond Ritter at pick 214. That's the QB room. I went CMC at pick 3 over Chase. Don't do that a lot. Jonathan Taylor, pick 22. Ken Walker, pick 51. Isaiah Pacheco, pick 94. And Zach Charbonnet, himself, at pick 99. So I can let Walker and Sharp ping pong all year. Whoever has the big one.
Yeah.
Okay, here's
lotion's coming out.
Is that? Do we got to edit that? I don't know. Okay, here's the wide receiver room, boys. We got Drake London, Zay Flowers, Marvin Mims at pick 118, and I want to apologize for that. MVS at pick 142, KJ Osborne at pick 147, Donovan Peoples-Jones. We got a lot of hyphenated names on this roster. Pick 166. Michael Wilson. Had to get my.
You're going with the hyphenated name stack?
It makes me comfortable. We got Michael Wilson as the wide receiver 7. Nicole Hartman with that Corey Davis retirement bump at pick 190. John Mechie at pick 195. Appreciate it. And then the tight end room is chilling with Kittle and a correlated Kincaid to go with Josh.
Like it. So, I actually love that this is kind of how your draft turned out, because we drafted a team. I shouldn't say that. Maybe that's selfish of me, but we drafted a team running back, and did the exact same thing where it was like, all right, now we're looking for high upside wide receivers and we're just going to hammer them all. So it's good to see that, like, someone who's experienced and has a track record of winning, we're not too far off, at least in our mindset of what you got to, just scramble, right? That's what you did, is you scrambled, and, high upside receivers, Mims, obviously. Let's say Judy's out and Mims gets an early connection with Russell Wilson. Well, his ceiling is very high for you. Zay Flowers, don't need to talk about that, but MVS being what he, go for it.
I just love talking about Zay Flowers. Anything you want to say?
Yeah, no, I do as well. I mean, he's just and he's going to be awesome. And he's going to be awesome with Mark Andrews. The way they complement one another is just outstanding. MVS, he's got that experience already. He's the most experienced Mahomes receiver, and he can put up some touchdowns. So KJ Osborne, that's kind of his MO. DPJ, same thing. So you went with the hyphenated stack and the rookie wide receiver stack. Obviously, there's a lot of unknown upside on all rookies. Nicole, same thing. So you just took big wings. I love what you did, just kind of scrambling and swinging as big as you could. Ryan, why don't you test out that new sexy mic and break down our team?
All right. So our team ended up. I'm pretty happy with how this turned out. It confirms my theory of going wide receiver early. I like how it turns out. So quarterback room, we didn't get one of our top elite quarterbacks. So instead we grabbed some value with Deshaun Watson, grabbing him at pick 100 when his ADP is like 86. So great value there. And then later on grabbing Matthew Stafford. Between the two of them, I'm very comfortable with those two, not taking a third. And then with our running backs, grabbing Breece Hall at pick 45. Huge upside with the Jets being such a great team. I'm not really too concerned with Dalvin Cook coming into town. Breece is still going to get his. He's too elite to not be on the field. Cam Akers at pick 69, one of my favorite picks in drafts, period. James Cook, high upside with Buffalo to pair up with Stephon Diggs. Elijah Mitchell, who, in my opinion, has one of the better injury upsides out of any other player. Grabbing him at pick 124 is great for me.
Hey, don't say that word. Jamie's got CMC.
Sorry. Sorry about that, Jamie. Don't want to put that bad juju on you. But and then Jerome Ford, who we have the most exposure in out of any player in our entire catalog. So Jerome Ford's pretty spot on for us. Wide receiver room, very happy with the way this turned out. Stephon Diggs was our first round pick. Safe as it gets, in my opinion. Devontae Smith, then at pick 21, very happy about that. DeAndre Hopkins, who's someone I'm very high on at pick 52. And then Rashad Bateman to pair with our Mark Andrews at pick 93. And then some great depth, in my opinion, with Nico Collins at 117, Van Jefferson at 141, Jonathan Mingo at 148, and a little DJ Chark doo-doo at pick 172, and Puka Nacua at 213 as a last-round pick to pair with our Rams stack. Very, very happy with the way our wide receivers turned out, and the fact that we have 9 of them makes me feel very, very comfortable. And then our tight ends, Mark Andrews and Hayden Hurst. I mean, Mark Andrews, about as good as it gets in the tight end room at pick 28. And then Hayden Hurst, someone that we consider a tight end sleeper, man, seems to be Bryce Young could be his favorite target on the team at pick 196. Very comfortable all around. And I think this might win us $3 million.
$3 million? You think this one's it?
This is the Millie maker right here, baby.
Wow. That would be incredible. All right. Well, that sums up the highly anticipated best ball draft with Jamie. Jamie, I think it was as fun as I was hoping it to be. Thank you so much for coming on and joining for this Best Ball Friday. We're gonna give you the final words, and then you know what to do.
I just want to say, number one, that I really appreciated the freedom that you gave me as far as throwing out past ADP schools during this draft, because I got a lot of Marvin Mims in the 150s. Loving that. But in this build, you got to throw caution to the wind to just be like, okay, who has the highest upside here? Like, I went hardcore running back early, not my comfort zone, but I like to have something like that in my best ball portfolio. Just kind of make sure it's hitting all of the angles of how this thing could play out. So I'm feeling good about how different this team is. Would I repeat this team again and recommend it to a friend? I'm not sure about that. But I really enjoy kind of just scrambling, like you mentioned, and try to get these upside receivers. I think I learned a little bit here, learned a little bit on pod. So we keep growing. You guys have been grinding so hard. So I really respect that. I appreciate coming on the pod. It's been a lot of fun, and let's do it again.
Yeah, absolutely. Appreciate the kind words. Means a lot. You know, when you're just starting out and just are literally just thrown into the fire, we're just been trying to work as hard as we can, right? But Yeah, we loved having you on. Absolutely. Looking forward to having you on during the season. And hey, Jonathan Taylor signs to the Dolphins,
Let's do it.
and it's a huge name for hyphenated receivers and rookies. Like, you don't know. The avenue for success is there.
Quick question, boys, before we go. Do you name your best ball teams? I know you guys are doing so many drafts to try to remind yourself what that build was or anything like that.
No, we have not.
That thought crossed through my mind the other night as I was just poking around, and if that's something you recommend, then yeah. So I think that's probably in the cards for us. So any other experienced advice, lay it on us. But that's definitely something that we need to do.
Yeah,
it's just nice for looking through, but yeah, it's not. The teams are the same either way.
How do you recommend doing that?
Well, I will put I always make sure I put if it was a fast or slow because I want to retain that information and see how the teams perform. I put the dates so I know kind of like what the landscape looks like when I go back. And then if it's something like, with a group of friends or with you guys, like I'll name this like roadshow, just so I can quickly go back and be like, these are the people in the room. This was when I drafted. This is when it was fast or slow. And sometimes I'll put like Detroit, Dallas build. If I stacked that week 17 matchup, just so I can go through.
Yeah. Awesome. Well, very much appreciate it. It was an awesome podcast. Looking forward to releasing this one. Ryan, Truck, you want to give us your last words and then sign us out?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm very happy with how this turned out. Jamie, thank you for joining us. It was a pleasure to have you on, and we hope to have you on more so in the future. Be a little resident Seahawks guest for us whenever the Seahawks either do terrible or do very well. So we'll see what happens with the whole Geno Smith thing. I know Mike's watching that pretty closely. But other than that, Jamie, thank you very much. And everybody, buckle up.